Savannah Williams, and I am thinking about going into elementary education. So that's exciting.
Okay, so like I told you before, I'm just gonna talk about standardized like testing and different things with that. So like aside from ACT and SAT, which basically everyone takes, did you take standardized testing either in like elementary school, high school, junior high, anytime?
Yeah, like in elementary and middle school we did ISTEP, and it's like called something different in like every state, but in Indiana we call it ISTEP. So that was like required for everybody to take, and then in high school I took like AP tests.
Okay, yeah, like Illinois, you take ISAT, so it's super weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's called something different.
What like grade did you start that in?
ISTEP or AP tests?
ISTEP.
That's a good question. It was probably like second, third grade.
Third grade, yeah.
Yeah.
It seems to be the pretty common like age. So like did those have like any effect like during like when you were younger, like or just taking those tests, did you like ever notice like your mood change? Like you weren't excited to go to school, or like you liked to take the test?
No,
or
it was definitely more of a, oh, I ISTEP today, oh, like hating life and everything. But it was nothing exciting, but it was never like really stressful because I was a pretty good kid in school, so I never like felt nervous for anything. Like if I ever felt nervous for something, it was like reading, because I struggled with that kind of stuff, or like science. But
yeah.
it was never like, I was never like, this stuff doesn't really matter, like it's whatever, like
Yeah.
I can't get out of it.
Like did you ever notice like your friends or anybody like get stressed out about it?
Yeah, if they
or,
were like a
stuff
really
that?
like had to be like perfect score or something like that, like they would be like really like focused and everything, and they would like actually like study for it or something like that, and they would get themselves prepared, and so like they would be like more stressed out than I was, and like they would kind of just like keep to themselves for a little bit. So
And what about your teachers?
My
Did they just
teachers?
get like super stressed, or were they just kind of like nonchalant, like, hey, we're gonna take a test?
no, I did have some that would get like really stressed, and they were like, you guys better do good, I've taught you so much stuff, and all this stuff like that, and this is gonna help you on this, this, and this, and it's crazy.
Were these ever like graded for you? Because for me, like they were never graded. But
No.
It was just like the test and then sent on, like
Yeah,
whatever
just
it was.
taking whatever it goes.
So like, did the test ever like interfere with the schedule you had? Like, did you have to like miss classes, or was it like a whole week set aside, or like, did you ever have to miss like any extracurricular stuff because you were busy?
Yeah,
testing?
when it came, when it came to ISTEP, we would just like take it like during our class time. I mean, I guess we would like miss like if we had like art class or music class, we would like typically miss like those
So like
kind
your
of
special
classes.
type things,
Yeah,
like they call them. Like,
yeah,
that's-
and then like in high school when it came to AP tests, you know, it took like a whole like morning to take it. So whatever classes you had in the morning, you had to miss. But so that wasn't fun.
Like, do you think like that ever like affected how you like felt during the week, or like?
Yeah,
your
because then
classes?
a lot of times, like, some teachers, I mean, even though they knew you had AP tests, like, you still had work that you had to do, so you had to make up that work, like, no matter what. So then that was, like,
There
extra
was, like,
work.
nothing you could do about it.
Exactly, that was, like, extra work I had to do, like, after school that would, like, take up my time. Like, I didn't need to do this, but,
No. So like, in your own opinion, like, do you think that standardized tests like effectively can like predict how well students doing, how well teachers has been like teaching out the year, just like how the school in general functions?
personally, like, I don't think it really, like, shows a student's, like, strengths, because I know, like, a lot of people, like, they, like, stress out when it comes to testing, and so, like, they just, even though they know the stuff, like, they just kind of freak out, and so, like, they just, like, completely, like, forget, like, everything they know. I think, like, you can get a better evaluation of how a student, like, works, like, just with their, like, grades that they get just on a typical, like, daily basis. Like, I don't think, like, ISTEP and, like, SAT should, like, justify that so much.
Okay, so like basing off that, like, do you think a college should like base some of their like acceptance rates on like if a student has like a certain ACT or SAT level, or like do you think that should be able to like predict what sort of scholarships a college may give students? Because I know like here at Purdue, a lot of the scholarships go off like 28 or higher, like pretty high scores, which can be kind of hard. So like, do you think that stress like can play into the reason maybe kids don't get scholarships?
Yeah, Like I know again, like I feel like it should just kind of depend more like on how you did throughout high school or something. Like, cause I mean like SAT and ACT are pretty much required. Like I mean you get to choose which one to do, but they're pretty much required for like any college that you go to. And so like I don't know, like I feel like since it's required, it shouldn't depend so much on that. You know?
I
Like,
think
yeah,
going with
like-
more like GPA should be a factor. Just like all
Yeah.
4 years, like the classes combined instead of one test.
Yeah,
that takes, like, 4
exactly.
hours.
Because like, and I know like me personally, like I took it like my junior year or something. Like I took the ACT and like I didn't take it again because personally I just didn't want to go through it again. But I probably should have because I know if I would have taken it again like my senior year, I definitely would have done better because I learned more. Like I could have done like better like on the reading because like my vocabulary enhanced and like on the writing like I learned like new like comprehension skills. So like I would have done better, but it was just like I had to take it my junior year so I could get it ready for applying for here. So I felt like that kind of like affected it a little bit.
So like you think taking multiple like attempts at a test could like improve a student's score on it, just like overall.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you know what you're expecting maybe.
Yeah, I
So-
mean like again I didn't do that, but part of me like wishes I would have because I like know I would have done better just because I learned more just throughout 1 year. So I think yeah, doing it multiple times will definitely give you like a better like view of an overall like grading system.
So like for colleges, what do you think about like AP scores? Do you think those should be counted towards classes or should just replace some classes altogether like they kind of do? Because like for example like at Purdue with Calc 1 you can get out of like if you take the AP exam you can get out of Calc 1, even some you can get out of Calc 2 and just move on.
Yeah.
You think that should still be continued
Yeah,
despite that being a standardized test?
Yeah, I like that because AP tests like they're not necessarily required. Like that's more of an extra step that you're taking that you can choose to take, and I think it like shows a lot to the college of your choosing that you're willing to take that extra step, and then when you do well on the test, it just like shows that you can deal with that sort of challenge,
Yeah.
sort of. So I personally think it is acceptable for it to replace classes, and that colleges should really take that more into account because again, that's something that you're choosing to do.
Right.
It's not required, so like you're showing that you can put yourself up even further than everyone else and you can do well.
So like what score, like Purdue takes 4s and 5s. In a couple classes they take a 3. Like do you think that like a 3 should be accepted because 3 technically is passing? Or do you think that 4 or 5 shows like very accurate knowledge of like the subject?
Yeah, I think 4 and 5s are good, and I kind of feel the same way like how it is. Like 3s are like
It's kind of on the
kind
border.
of iffy. Like
Yeah.
I guess depending on like the type of subject necessarily. Like
Yeah, that's true.
like for here, since this is more of an engineering school, like you would want to get like a 4 or 5 in calc. Like I would think a 3 should not be acceptable just because it'd be for engineering, but it would just depend more on the school, sort of, on whether they would take it or not. So I kind of agree with that whole system.
Okay, so now I'm kind of like switching things a little more, but
Yeah.
so some schools are funded based on their standardized test scores. Do you think that's a fair policy
No.
or not?
No, again,
Why?
I like again like going back on like the whole like a lot of students will stress out during it, and I think when it comes to funding, they should like go into the classrooms and evaluate the whole situation more so because you're gonna get a better view of how the students work and how the teachers are teaching when you're actually in the classroom and evaluating them. And like I know that would be like a lot of like extra work, but I feel like it would give more of an accurate showing, like an accurate representation of like what really